Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. When I tell y'all, I'm so upset at myself um, for not reviewing each episode independently because this season of Salt Lake City, and I'm not going to go back and review, girl, each episode, but I just wish I would have started when the season kicked off because this season of Salt Lake City is really, really good. I have not been disappointed with an episode yet. Not one. Like, you can tell that, girl, they in it to win it. I know the ratings may not reflect that, but the the show is good. People are, I guess, people are just not watching. But I think the ratings across the board have kind of dropped for Housewives. We could get into another conversation about Housewives another day because I have so much to say about that. But it is what it is. Let's just talk about the episode. So this is episode 4. I thought this was episode 5. This is episode 4. Um, Meredith and Lisa. Um, hold up. Meredith tells. Oh, Meredith goes to. I was. I don't know what I wrote. Meredith tells Lisa that Angie and Whitney basically came to her the night before at the basketball game and pretty much were trying to drop seeds of doubt in their relationship. Um, Questioning, does she really trust Lisa? Let me just say this. That right there, in Lisa's defense, and I can't remember what Angie went and told Whitney that Lisa said, but in Lisa's defense, Angie, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, Angie is not moving like that of someone who is a good friend, right? Even with Angie being, girl, we just gonna talk. Girl, even with Angie being friends with Lisa and Whitney, I have come to understand in my, years of living that when you have a friend group, and if friends are beefing within that group, girl, just stay out of it. Okay, girl, just stay out of it because eventually, hopefully, they'll make up, and you just don't want to be caught in the middle of girl where Rodney said so and so, Rodney said this. Girl, just stay out of it. If they want to call, if each person wants to call you and complain, girl, just listen on the phone or whatever. But girl, don't give no input. Don't go back unless it's something positive that could help the friendship, right? But don't go back telling what the other person said because then you're gonna be caught in the middle. And I feel like I didn't understand what Angie's motive was to go back to be with Whitney and try and cause some friction between Lisa and Angie, unless I've missed something and I've watched every episode. Um, so Lisa has every right to kind of side eye Angie because not only do you go back and tell Whitney a conversation that we had, but now you're in front of Meredith trying to paint me as this bad friend and question why she's basically friends with me. Does that make sense? Again, unless I missed something. Um, so, anyways, I put Heather and Whitney are weird. Heather and Whitney, I guess, are like the frenemies. They're cousins, but they're frenemies. Girl, y'all was just going at each other's throat the first episode at the table. Now y'all are in Milwaukee. How do you pronounce it? They told us the correct way to pronounce it. We're just gonna still say Milwaukee. Girl, I think it's Milwaukee. Is that how she said it? Anyways, so now you're in Milwaukee. You're taking shots in the morning, right? Drinking from the same can. This was last episode. And now this episode, I think she gave Whitney a matching T-shirt. I was like, okay, girl. Like I have a weird. Not to say friends and cousins don't get into arguments, but from the first episode, it felt like there was about to be a shift again in Whitney's and Heather's relationship. Because at one point, I think like one season they kind of fell out, right? Because I think they talked about it on the Ultimate Girls Trip. Remember, they both did that season with Candace, Giselle, Portia, and the other girls on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Anyways, um, baby, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, baby, when Miss Whitney came and knocked on Lisa's door, and she was trying to tell Lisa the itinerary for the day. And Lisa told her, I'm going to pass. And Whitney face cracks. said, kill her, Lisa. Lisa said, I'll pass. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. And not only did Lisa not go do what Whitney had planned for the day, because this was Whitney's trip. So not only did Lisa not go do what she planned for the day, but Lisa also took Whitney's friend. I think her name is Melee. Melee. You know, I'm still learning the names. I really don't know. I don't remember anything about her. Brittany, I feel like is trying to clock in, even though I got something for Brittany too. Um, Melee, whatever the girl, I just feel like she's there. Anyways, if I was Whitney, I would have had an issue with girl. If you're my friend and I'm going on a trip, I would be upset that you are now basically on my trip and going to hang out with this other person on the trip. Like, girl, what? but Lisa took Brittany. No, did she take Brittany? No, Brittany went to the other place. Did she take Brittany? Oh, she did. She took Melee, whatever her name is, and Brittany. Uh huh. Yeah. And so they went and did their own thing. And the other girls went to like a cave and had like lunch and I think like champagne beer. Mary, you know what? I really think that Mary, I love what Mary, how I understand that Mary has some trust issues with some of these women, right? We're not going to act like Mary didn't quit the show because of the Asian lady. They say she was allegedly racist. The racist age allegedly racist Asian lady, Jenny, that's her name. We're not gonna act like Mary hasn't had um, issues with this group of women, and you know, I think some of them may even probably could have still befriended Jenny afterwards. They found out how Jenny kind of moves. Um, you know, one of the things I disliked about Mary when she came back is that my whole thing was, if you're gonna come back and be on the show, then be on the show. You want to come back, not participate in the events, sit on the bus, not talk to nobody, have an attitude the whole time. It's like that one person who just has a stank attitude and they come on the trip and they just ruin the trip. It's kind of like, girl, why did you even come? Right? I'm so happy that Mary is letting her guard down. She is engaging with the women. She's having a good time, right? I like this. This Mary is the Mary that I like. I've always liked Mary, right? Mary was a reason why I stopped watching, even though Meredith was my favorite. Meredith is my girl. Even though Meredith was my favorite, but I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. When the black lady left, I left too. I said, girl, y'all not gonna play in that. Y'all not gonna play in that black lady face like that, girl. If she gone, I'm gone. And when Mary left, I left. Okay. And then when Mary came back, I stuck my head back in. Okay. God was not fooling with those girls like that because I didn't like the way they treated Mary. Um, but yeah, I still stand on what I said about her and Brittany though. Don't get it twisted. Brittany a better girl than I could ever, because me and Mary would have had to go toe to toe about parenting. Hello, so don't ever get it twisted. I ain't taking that back. But yeah, I like the Mary. I like Mary. I like the Mary. I like how Mary is showing up this season. She's funny. Um, I just like Mary. I just like Mary this season. Um, Brittany. Let's talk about Brittany and this man who is a manipulator. Brittany, from what I understand, the background that she comes from, like a lot of women, but I think her background is like, girl, to the 10th power. They put men on a pedestal. As trifling as Brittany is for putting a man before her kids, I'm not saying that it's right, but what I'm saying is, based off Heather's explanation, that's the way that they were that's the way that they were conditioned to put men above everything. Again, it's not right, But based off of Heather's explanation, I think was it second episode, third episode, I was like, oh, that men come before everything. Like you can get into heaven without kids, but you can't get into heaven without having a husband. So Brittany is dealing with an Osmond. Marie, well, so you know the Osmonds, okay? Like a cousin. just like Lisa said, girl, he's a D-lister. Girl, ain't nobody worried about that man. I think that he's using the fact that he knows Brittany is harder for a man. She's trying to shake that way of thinking, but it's probably still there. And he uses that to his advantage to stay in contact with Brittany. I think his name, what is his name? I can't remember I think his name, we're just gonna call him Osmond. I can't remember his first name. So Osmond, I believe, uses the fact that he knows Brittany, still kind of latches on of putting a man first to his advantage. He calls her, like they have this back and forth in their relationship. The nigga call her like best friend. girl, girl, ain't nobody walking around here calling their wife, their girlfriend, their best friend as a title of that person. You might say my wife is my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Or you might say my husband is my best friend, which I hope that let me shut up. Y'all know it's okay to have like a best friend outside of your relationship. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Um, I think he uses that. So it's like he dangles. It's like he's dangling a bone in front of a dog, right? I'm gonna call her my best friend, but you're really not putting the title that should be on this relationship if it's what she thinks that it is. You see what I'm saying? Um, so she has now broken up with Osmond because Angie told her about Osmond being in the DMs of one of her good girlfriends, and I think it was they looked at the dates. I think it was somewhere around January. So this had to be around. Of course, they were filming, so this had to be. They said it was recent, so this wasn't like. And so Brittany was like, "Well, maybe it was one of those times that we were broken up." Girl, stop making excuses, girl. Girl, stop making excuses. Girl, the nigga who you with ain't shit. Girl, that's it. He playing games with you. And quiet as it's kept, you low key letting him. And I'm not to say that, girl, if he was, Donnie, was it Donnie and Marie? I'm not saying that if he was an A-list Osmond, girl, it would make sense. But, girl, you over here stressing yourself out over a D-list Osmond? Girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, if you're going to be stressed out, at least be stressed out over the one who name and lights. Girl, you know, the one who famous. Don't nobody even know that man. Anyways, Heather tells Whitney what Meredith said. So Meredith, okay, so this is the thing. Meredith, she's good at this. Meredith is good at saying basically she's gonna repeat what somebody else repeat. What she saw online, or like kind of like last year how she kind of set Monica up. I call her Gunica. How she set Gunica up to take the fall. Because she know Monica, she know Gunica was thirsty for camera time. Anyways, so she says that that it's been online, and Whitney knew about it. It's not like Meredith did not start the rumor. However, I think Meredith was the one who brought the rumor to the show. Okay, so they're basically saying that Whitney gets her jewelry from Alibaba. Is that how you say it? Kind of like Shein, your AliExpress. Okay, okay, and she marks it up. I think it's like $4.99, and she selling it for like $50. Now, it's trifling. And it sounds like that's what Whitney is doing. She tried to explain to Heather that that's not what that, like, basically, I don't know. I feel like that's what Whitney is doing. I do. I really do. But is it illegal or is it just trifling? Because if we're gonna be honest about it, and I'm not trying to throw none of the girls under the bus, but it's a couple of housewives that they get these boutique stores, right? They go online, buy some of these clothes in bulk. They go to AliExpress, Shein, right? Buy these dresses and shirts for $12.99, $9.99. Open a boutique store and sell them for $59.99, $79.99, $89.99. So is Whitney doing something that the other girls ain't doing? If she is doing it, buying this stuff and then marking up the price, But the thing is with Whitney, that oh, I just thought about this. Whitney is trying to mark this as her own designs, right? At one point she wasn't she? Was Whitney trying to sell these as her own designs? Like, I designed this. This is my jewelry line. When you say my jewelry line, I mean, I guess somebody could technically say, well, if you say this is my store, but no, because most people say if you say I'm opening up a boutique store, I don't think people would just think that you're also the fashion designer. Y'all let me know. Did Whitney market this as her fashion, like her jewelry line? Because that is a tad bit different when you know. So yeah, I don't know, but I do feel like I do feel like did I say Brittany or Whitney? I do feel like Whitney is basically buying this jewelry at a cheaper price and then jacking up the price. I think that's what she's doing. Anyways, um, but I also am with Whitney at the same time because at the end of the day, like that's why the girl, it ain't no line the girls won't cross because now, girl, they coming for your pocketbook. You know what I'm saying? And Meredith's trying to act like I'm an expert in this, and she could have come to me and I would have given her advice. Girl, no, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. Girl, when the girls come for your pocketbook, it is a little different. It's one thing for us to get on this show and argue with us about stupid shit, but girl, now you trying to shake my purse, girl. What? But Whitney, girl, are you really out here? Are you really out here, girl? You know, marketing this mess as as it's yours. But she said she explained it in the confessional. But I think at one point she was trying to say that this was her jewelry. Because did she have like a Didn't Whitney have a she had like a jewelry party last year, didn't she? And I thought that she was trying to say that this is her jewelry line. I don't know. Anyways, so Angie and Lisa get into it. I like Angie, but when Angie kicked that, so Angie and Lisa get into it. Angie putting on the show. Girl, Angie stood up, kicked the chair over. Angie, what are you? Angie, sit your ass down. What I did nobody blink? Did nobody say, "Oh my God"? Girl, did nobody say, "Ooh"? Girl, like girl, they looked at Angie like she's a joke. Like, girl, sit your ass down. But again, I feel like Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Lisa has every right to kind of side eye Angie because Angie is moving in a way that deserves a side eye. You have went back and told this girl what I said, and now you're going to Meredith trying to make it seem like I'm this horrible friend and why is she in a friendship with me? However, I also believe Angie. I believe that Lisa is the type of person, especially with Lisa being on this show and Lisa being one of the OGs of the show. I do believe that Lisa moves in a way, especially when she brings friends onto the show, do as I say and don't go against me. Now, I don't know if she moves like that in real life, but on this show, I could see Lisa moving that way with Angie. I want yes men around me. Don't challenge me, right? So I believe Angie when she says that Lisa basically just wants someone who's going to agree with her and really not challenge what she says. And if you do, there's a problem. I believe it. I believe multiple things can be true at the same time. Um, Lisa. Okay, here we go with the kids. I be telling y'all, girl, y'all be trying to act like kids off limits. Kids are not off limits. They try to convince y'all that the kids are off limits, but the kids ain't never been off limits. Lisa didn't say anything about Electra. Okay, Electra is Angie's daughter. However, she did bring Electra into the conversation, and she was basically trying to say that Angie, basically trying to paint Angie as a bad friend, and also she low-key tried to paint her as a bad mother by saying that she uses her daughter as an excuse to get off the phone with me. Right? She'll say that Electra needs her, but really, truly, Electra don't need her. She just wants to get off the phone with me. Girl. I say Angie is a better bitch than I could ever be. Because as soon as she would have said that, I would say, well, girl, why you trying to question when I got off the phone with my daughter? Let's question why you got off the phone with your son when he was halfway across the world telling you his stomach dropped down to his ankles. When your ass should have been on the plane wanting to get your son and bring him back over here. Okay, that's what she should have said. She should have rather. Girl, said, girl, I ain't said, girl, the girl wait. Y'all gotta be quicker. Y'all not quick enough on y'all feet for me. Okay, y'all not quick enough on y'all feet for me. Girl, as soon as Lisa would have even brought my child into the conversation, I would have brought her child into the conversation. The same way I said about Brittany and Mary. And we gonna girl, y'all want to talk about the husbands? Y'all want to talk about the children? Girl, let's bring the children to it then. That's all I'm saying. Angie, you were supposed to tell her. You were supposed to tell her why you worried about me being on the phone with my daughter. Let's talk about how you got off the phone with your son. When your son called you and told you that his stomach was down to his toes. And your ass should have been on the plane to go get him. Okay? He got 1 foot into glory. Now that would have been too far. Right. But you brought kids up first. So I'm going to bring them up second. Okay? Anyways, but again, I don't think that Lisa said anything bad about Alexa. She didn't. It's just that, girl, we know how people get when we know how y'all get when y'all bring kids up into the conversation. And I think that's what it is. I think that's why I'm at with it too. Just leave the kids out of it. Okay? Because I have seen plenty of reality shows where I know for a fact no one is saying bad things about the kids, but because they just hear a kid name being mentioned, people just spaz out. So I think I'm to the point where it's like, just leave the kids out of it. Because the girls were swapping down, you was dragging their kids and you really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? You could be attacking their parenting. You could be attacking, how they raise their kids, but it's not necessarily about the kids. Sometimes I think people get it confused, and I do think that some people use their kids as a scapegoat. Because if I'm attacking your parenting, girl, I'm talking about you being a sorry ass daddy or sorry ass mama. You see what I'm saying? Anyways, Brittany announces that she's broken up with that man. No one cares. Because again, I understand that this is a housewife show. And I understand that your relationship can be a topic of conversation. But it does appear that that's the only thing that Brittany talks about. And I have to also remind myself that based off of her upbringing, I can see that's why that's number one on the conversation to have list. They start to ask her questions. Were you with him because his last name being Osmond? Do you want to live on Osmond? I think there's like an Osmond Lane or something like that somewhere. And they start asking her questions. Bronwyn starts to ask her questions. Now, this is the thing. Here we go. Bronwyn really wasn't asking any questions that were not out of the ordinary to me. I feel like everybody was chiming in with their input. Everybody was chiming in with their questions. And then here comes Bronwyn just kind of like joining in on the conversation. And to be fair to Bronwyn, Brittany was the one who introduced her relationship or topic of conversation at this table. You see what I'm saying? However, girl, the same way you can ask me questions, I can ask you questions too. So here we go. When I tell you Brittany was on Bronwyn's ass, girl, I low-key going for Bronwyn, girl. I low-key going for Bronwyn. When I tell you Brittany basically asked her, girl, are you with your man because he got money? Since we asking questions, girl. Am I with my man because his last name Osmond? Or are you with your nigga because he got some money? And he old as fuck. Okay? I don't think either question is out of the ordinary. Because his name is Osmond, and just like I think she did say, we get that question a lot. I think she said that, or maybe that's what Bronwyn said. Just like it's not out of the ordinary, which is gonna call it for what it is. And I love an older man. Y'all already know. I love older men. Okay? But it's not out of the ordinary, especially when you see a younger woman with an old man. And if we find out the man got money, most people are going to assume that you're with him because of the money. Because why else would you be with this old ass nigga? Okay? Right? Now, if he ain't got no money, then we just be like, oh, girl, she really in love. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds messed up. But if you see a younger woman with an older man, and the older man is rich, you're just going to assume that she's with him because of the money. So both things are true. Bronwyn lost the argument when she stumbled and she was like, "Oh, so that's a low blow," because Brittany said, "Are you physically attracted to your husband?" I don't think it was a low blow, girl. Cause we're gonna be honest about it, Bronwyn. You were just talking about your husband having gout, girl, the last episode, and how you sleep. She said something about sleeping with him and him having gout. Now I don't know if she said that in front of Brittany. Was Brittany on the bus when she said that? Oh, probably not. Was she on the bus? I can't remember. But she said it. So all I'm saying is when you're on a housewife show, and this could be a life lesson for all of us. Just be careful of the conversations that you bring up. Be careful of the questions that you ask people, because be careful of the things that you say, because if you bring up kids, I'm bringing up kids. If you bring up my man, I'm bringing up your man. Or even if I'm talking about my man and you got questions, I'm gonna have questions about your man. You see what I'm saying? So I just think I don't think that it's I do believe that sometimes the wives can go too far. I will say that, but I don't think this is a too far situation. I don't think if Brittany would have questioned Mary's parenting, that would have been too far because you're questioning mine. I don't think Brittany was going too far by throwing questions at Bronwyn about her man because you're asking questions about mine. You know what I'm saying? I don't think if Angie would have brought up Lisa's son, it would have been wrong because you brought up my daughter. It is what it is. Um, Whitney gets triggered because she's in her husband is older than her, and she basically makes a comment in the confessional saying something about um, you know, basically the reputation that younger women have when they date older men, especially if the man has some money. Well, when your man ain't got no, do your man got some money? Girl, what they broke at one point? And that's didn't they go broke? Am I making that up? I don't want to make I don't want to make nothing up on my channel. Didn't Whitney and didn't her man, because her man, I know the man lost his job, but due to the show, right? Girl, ain't nobody jail. Yeah, girl, Brittany, not Brittany. What's the hell for name? Whitney. Ain't nobody jealous of your man. Girl, your man ain't even have no job. Ain't nobody jealous of no woman with no man who ain't got no fucking job. Girl, please. Girl, your nigga don't even work. Girl, you think I'm jealous of that? Girl, bye. Girl, I don't want to start no mess down him. I think he got a job now. But he lost his job due to this show. I thought that was so fucked up. And then Whitney, I think I was on Whitney ass at one point. Because I think Whitney was on a whole bunch of complaining. Was I? Oh, I think I was on Justin ass. I can't remember. I think I was probably calling them both out. I can't remember, I don't even care. And then they go to a drag show. And shout out to the drag queens. Shout out to the drag queens, girl. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but drag queens get a bad rap, girl. They had these laws trying to take out the drag queens, and the drag queens can't read books to children, all types of mess. Honey, y'all need to be worried about y'all boyfriends going to y'all daughter's rooms. Y'all be worried about the wrong motherfucking thing. Let me shut up, girl. I was about to go into a whole rant. Because the drag queens, let me shut up. Shout out to all the drag queens. All right, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.